Hello, I'm Tom McClelland. I'm currently the Precision Farming Manager at Allpress Farms. So I'm basically just one of the farm managers that does enough technical work that you can actually justify claiming some R&D tax credits on my salary. My time would be split sort of 50-50 between operational stuff and the technical stuff. So yeah, most normal farm managers, it's fully operational that they're involved with. So that's kind of what sets me apart. I don't have to, constantly be out in the fields actually getting on with land work and things like that. I can sit back and, do a few more computer-based tasks.
So I suppose for some people that might seem quite unusual that you're not kind of on the farm all the time, kind of doing the land work side of things. So why have Allpress got you kind of doing some more of the technical side of it? What's the driver for having someone spending more time looking at kind of that side of farming?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing is they appreciate that they can make massive improvements to the business through like utilizing data a lot more efficiently. And we do collect a huge amount of data on farm, but actually, using it at the end of the year and trying to gain knowledge from it is something that we wouldn't be great at the moment. So I think that's kind of the road that they want me to go down. And one of the main projects that I've been working on is a harvest optimization project. So it's trying to time our harvest better so we get a maximum number of leeks within the specifications that's set by the retailers. And obviously those specifications change from retailer to retailer. So yeah, you kind of need to know what you're harvesting that leek towards, and then gauge your harvest date off that. It's a bit cliche to say there's no such thing as a normal day, but yeah.
I think it's a fair point to make there. I think people, think it could just all be sat in a tractor or be in a cow shed if that's the farm that you work on. So yeah, it's not cliche. I think it's a good point to make.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do feel very fortunate that there is such variability in my job role, and although I said that I'm not fully out on the land at all times, there are still times where maybe we've got a staff member sick or we're just really busy and we have to go out and help on it. Like, I'm a farmer at heart, so I actually still really enjoy that stuff, and I'm glad I do get an opportunity to go out and do that sort of thing now and again. Just an example, last week, one of the staff members needed a hand with some fencing, and I could nip out and do that, and it's no odds with my managers, and they're happy enough as long as I'm lending a hand in some way. In terms of like the technical stuff though, so the majority of my time would be involved in that, and some of those tasks include like measuring leeks and then reporting back on their stage of growth to like the factory and the harvest team, so they know when they can actually go into those fields. Making variable rate fertilizer application plans, cropping budgets, field trials actually, yeah. So I would plan all the field trials and collect all the data around them and try and come to conclusions at the end of the year. But it's not always easy to do that on a commercial farm where obviously making money always takes priority.
For people that might not have heard of kind of trials on farm before, do you want to just explain a little bit about what those are and maybe why you do them?
Yeah, well, trials basically is just trying different things and seeing if we can actually make any improvements on our current procedures. So, for example, we've started to grow quite a few cover crops on land that is suitable. If we harvest a wheat and we're not going to put a crop in until spring, we'll put a cover crop in. And one of the debates we always have is it better to mulch that crop, mow it down and just plough it in, or are we better to get one of the local sheep farmers in to graze it off? Obviously, being from Northern Ireland, my heart lies with the sheep, and my manager's his lies with the mowing it down and ploughing it in. So yeah, we're just doing trials and things like that this year. We've got a couple of fields side by side. One of them we've mowed down, and the other one we have got the sheep in and they've grazed it off. So as I said, I grew up in Northern Ireland. I lived on a farm and brought up on a farm all my life. But it wasn't actually until I was maybe 16 or 17 that I started to really take an interest in it. And I think even at that stage, it was just the excitement of driving tractors that drew me in. But then, yeah, going on into my later teens, I decided to commit to it and studied for a BSc in agricultural technology while working, part time on the farm at home over the weekends and things like that. During my BSc, I spent a year's placement for Frontier Agriculture, which gave me quite a bit of commercial experience. It was like a rotational type placement. I think they actually still do the same one, and it was good to see just how companies like that operate. And it gave me a bit of commercial exposure, which I never really had before. Going on from that, then when I graduated, I spent a year in Argentina, sort of in a supervisory capacity, and it gave me a bit more experience with man management and that side of business. And while I was out there, then I applied for the job at Allpress and had a couple of interviews actually when I was home on holidays, and then they offered me the job. Since then, yeah, I've been obviously still building on the man management side of things and gaining a huge amount of technical experience, which has been great.
I just wanted to go back. You said about spending a year in Argentina. Would you recommend, if someone is really keen on agriculture, like you touched on, they might have grown up on the family farm or kind of come to it later on, going abroad and kind of finding out more about farming or agribusiness in other countries?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would never put anyone off that, and I think it's a great experience, and it's one of the massive benefits of going down a career path in agriculture, is that you will find employment in every country in the world. I mean, while I was out in Argentina, I even toyed with the idea of going on the British Antarctic survey as a machine operator, and I mean, not many people would have the experience necessary to go and do something like that, but being involved with agriculture from such a young age, it's benefited me massively. With agriculture in general, when you work on a farm, you kind of need to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I think as agricultural businesses get bigger, employees are going to have to be a lot more specified to single jobs and single roles. Like as I said, my job at the minute is massively varied, and while that's brilliant for me, it may not necessarily be the best thing for the business going forward. Whereas if I was specified in one part of the business doing one single thing, I would more than likely get a lot better at it. So that's, yeah. Well, as I just said, jobs are becoming a lot more specified. A lot of people have the impression that to get into farming, you have to either be brought up on a farm or have a relative that owns a farm, or something along those lines. And then once you've had your upbringing on the farm, you then have to go to ag college or university and study for some sort of degree or course in agriculture. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I think people from all walks of life can get involved in agriculture. I mean, if you look at the robotics sector, I mean, it's becoming quite big in agriculture. Data is another big thing. So there you've got engineers, you've got data scientists, and even if you look at actually marketing our products, you need individuals that are skilled at that sort of work, and that you don't necessarily learn that from an agricultural degree. So yeah, my advice would be not to be put off agriculture by the fact that you've never had any experience with it before.